Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and it is a chilly day in the desert. It's been pretty cloudy all day and pretty cold, but I wanted to show you guys what I have going in my containers since I have a lot of my containers planted, and since we talked about how to plant a container garden yesterday, or day before yesterday. The video before this. So anyways, let's just show you. So container garden has been a big part of how I've been able to expand my garden over the years. I grow things in my big beds and they grow nicely, they grow great, but I can only grow so much with them. With the containers, I'm able to move the containers everywhere around, everywhere I need them to be, and put pretty much everything I want in those containers. So I usually do 3 rounds in my containers. I do my fall garden, and then I do my winter, and then I do my spring. And then my spring usually lasts throughout the summer. So whatever I have going in there come spring usually stays in there, and then at the end of the summer I rinse out the containers really well and put them away while it's 120 degrees and I wait for the fall to come. So I really encourage you guys. I actually asked in a poll on our community tab, which I don't know if you guys have realized this, but there is a community tab on our YouTube channel, which I didn't know. I always wondered how people posted on there just kind of information versus just the videos. And if you go onto our channel page, which is YouTube/Team Benson, I'll put it right here, and you click community, then you'll be able to see the things that I post. I've been trying to post on there daily so that I can kind of interact with you guys more when I don't have videos up. But anyways, I posted a poll and I asked what type of gardens do you guys have, and a lot of you guys said that you had either small space gardens or patio gardens. So I wanted to kind of show you guys what I put in my container patio garden and see, so that you guys can get some more ideas of what you can plant. Now I'm also going to show you guys a mystery plant that I think is so super cool. I found starts for it at the AZ Worm Farm, and I'm going to let you guys guess on what you think it is. And then tomorrow when I do my garden tour for Christmas, because we'll just be here eating Chinese food, then I will tell you guys what it is. So make sure you comment down below and guess what it is when I show you guys. So the first cool thing that's in my container garden are these dragon tail radishes. Now these radishes are not grown for their roots like a normal radish, but they're grown for their pods. And as you can see, this one is the oldest one, which is getting ready to flower, and then it'll have these long pods that grow off of it. Now I like to grow something in my garden that surprises people, and this is that thing. So I put it in a big space to where it can get nice and tall, but it's been growing really nicely in this pot here. Another thing I have growing in this pot over here, which is where all of the flowers are, and then also I have another one of them by the aloe vera plant, but our celery. Now celery is something that you can grow pretty much in anything, and you can harvest celery at any size. So I could use the celery at this size, or I can wait till it gets a lot bigger. Now you can kind of bunch them together and blanch, or yeah, I think it's called blanch your celery or bleach your celery, something like that, where basically you tie them together and you put like a cone around it to where that's how you get the celery like really kind of white. But I don't do that. I just kind of let the celery grow, and then I harvest it all when it gets a lot bigger, and then I chop it up and I freeze it. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with celery. I remember being in kindergarten and getting the kind of ants on a log type deal where they give you a bunch of celery and they put peanut butter and raisins on it. If you guys know what I'm talking about, just say, I know what you're talking about. And I never liked that because I don't like the taste of raw celery. Like, I cannot just sit and munch on raw celery. But I also cannot have a soup or a stew without celery because I will eat it cooked. So I like to grow as much celery as I can and then chop it up and freeze it. Now last year was the first year that I grew my own celery, and the taste was so amazing, guys. Like, it didn't taste watered down, it didn't taste flavorless, it tasted really, really good. I'd never tasted celery before like that. And I only grew 3 plants, and they provided us with a ton of celery. We had frozen celery for a while because we don't use a lot of it, but we do make it with stoups and stews. So this year I decided to grow 9 celery plants. 3 of them I started from seeds, 6 of them I got from the AZ Worm Farm. I'm going to grow those out, and the plan is to chop them up and freeze them and see how long we can get through 9 celery plants. So we'll see that. So over here is one of the big bulks of my patio kind of container garden. Now you can grow things as large as peppers. I have my shishito peppers actually grow the best in a pot versus being in the ground. I do have one in the ground, but in the pots I find that they just grow the absolute best in there. You can also grow eggplant. I grow all of my eggplants in my patio because I like to be able to, or in my pots, because I like to be able to move the eggplant, because my eggplant is going to be something that I'm going to keep all year long, like this one. This eggplant is 2 years old, and it has moved all over my garden. It's been on all different sides of my garden, and it's been everywhere. So I kind of put it in this final spot here because it got so, like, the roots got so big on it. So I put it in this bigger pot, but eggplant is something that does really, really well in a pot. Now I also have tomatoes. I have my bush tomatoes, which, look at these guys. These are a lot of little tomatoes on here. So the bush tomatoes do really, really good in the pots, but then also you can grow regular full-size tomatoes. You just need something for them to trellis up. Now the other thing I'm trying is what is called rhubarb. Now this is the first time I've ever grown rhubarb, so I've never eaten rhubarb either. So I'm gonna grow it in here and kind of see what it's like. If you guys have any good recipes for rhubarb, leave them down in the comments. And then herbs always grow amazingly. So I have my parsley, which grows like just a wild weed over here. That one I pulled this one for breakfast. You guys have never had parsley, rosemary, and butter steak cooked in a cast iron, you have not lived, and you should try it. Now the other thing I have going over here are my jalapeno pepper plants. Now the jalapeno pepper plants are something that you can actually grow to be a really big size. If you guys have watched my channel for a while, I've had really huge jalapeno pepper plants that grow just in one of these alone, the jumbo ones, or you can just grow regular ones and they can stay a small size while still producing a lot of peppers. As you can see, I have one big one on there, and then I have lots of little ones on this one coming through, and then I have a lot over there, and then this one is actually growing back from when the rats ate it. The nice part about growing in containers too is that you can grow several different things. As you guys can see, depending on the size of the container, I have a bunch of stuff growing in that one, and then I also sometimes like to plant radishes around different things that are growing in containers, and that way it can grow right along with it. Okay guys, now we're starting to look at all of my newbies. As you guys saw, I had planted out these cabbages. Those are my 45-day cabbages. And then I also got some extra collards and planted those as well to go with those collards. And then I also have carrots. Now carrots I find to be a wonderful thing to grow in a pot because carrots are just so hard to kind of grow evenly. So by having it in a pot, you can kind of just plant more carrot seeds where you need them. As you guys can see, I'm going to put some over here, and then you can also just easily just send them out, and you can kind of broadcast them versus putting them in your garden and then like your garden bed, and then they getting washed down to one spot and then growing in a clump. Carrots are those one vegetable that I don't rather enjoy growing because the seeds are so tiny that you spread them all out and you think, okay, I have enough seeds in there, it's fine, it's gonna be okay. But then you realize that you do not, and you just have just a little clump of carrots, and then you're thinning, and then you're trying to plant more, and it's just, I hate growing carrots. But I like carrots in my soups and my stews, so I guess I gotta do it. Okay guys, so I took out all of the tags so you guys can't see it, and I'm just going to show you the plant, and I want you guys to guess what it is, and then tomorrow's video I will tell you if you're right. Look at these beautiful plants right here. Now this is a very interesting plant that this is the first time I'm growing it. It doesn't get super huge, so that'll be a hint, and it does head up. So those are your guys' clues. See what you think it is below. Now another thing you can grow in pots and grow really well are bok choy. Now I haven't planted this bottom one. I'm trying to decide what to put. Somebody told me nasturtiums and I thought that might be pretty. But yes, bok choy is amazing to grow in containers because you can grow bok choy in such small places. And bok choy you can use it as a cut and come again veggie too as well. And then another thing you might not think of are dwarf trees. Now this one is my Mexican lime tree, which I found out that they grow little key limes, not really super huge ones. So I'm actually going to come in and grab a couple more of these to kind of give the tree a little bit of a break because it has been weighed down with these heavy limes, and I'm thinking that is why it's not as happy as it should be. And it's fall, so it's losing a lot of leaves. Alright, I had to put the tags back because I am one of those people that I will lose the tag and then I just have a handful of tags, like, or a bucket full of tags, and then I don't know what it is that I planted. So when I go to plant it next year, I'm looking for something because I like to plant different varieties of stuff. So I'll be looking for it, and it's like something that's not really well known and I can't figure out what it is because I just have a bucket of tags and I can't tell. So the other thing that you want to plant in containers, and you can plant in containers, are herbs. Now I have my herb wall right here. I have herbs in pots, and then I also have my big kind of raised herb bed too as well, which is still a pot because it's not actually in the ground. But planting herbs in pots is amazing because if you plant an herb in your bed and let it just grow, it will take up the entire bed, especially if you are not using it regularly. It will kind of sprawl all over and take over your entire bed. Oregano being one of them, it kind of crawls versus just growing straight up like a basil plant. So planting them in pots kind of helps you to where you don't have it kind of taking over your garden, and you can use them as you need them. And if you're using them slower, then they'll just grow a little bit slower, but it still kind of helps it to where you can maintain them from taking over. So now all of my winter pots are now all filled. I am planning for all of my spring pots, which I will be putting a lot more herbs in and a lot more flowers and a lot more medicinal herbs. So you guys will have to stay tuned to see what I put in those pots. Those go in the pots that are a little bit smaller, and also all of my hanging pots. But until next time, make sure you guys grow yourselves a garden because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.